Welcome to Real Nerds. I'm Ryan.
What was that?
I have no idea.
Oh, Brad, please find a way to cut that out.
Welcome to Real Nerds. I'm Ryan. To my right is
Brad.
To my far right is
James.
And this week we saw The Immortals, or is it just Immortals?
It's just
Immortals.
Is it? Okay.
I mean, it's Immortals. It's not like just Immortals. Well, maybe it is just Immortals.
So yeah, that's what we saw this week. So we'll go ahead and start some real news.
It's real news.
Hey guys, guess what?
What?
So everything you wanted to say bad, I don't know if this is really news, it's actually kind of funny. The COO, Ron Meyer of Universal, had an interview and he talked about movies he didn't like that they made.
I know.
And it's actually kind of funny. I'll say the movie and I'll say what he said and then we can talk about if you agree with him. So The Wolfman, and he said it's one of the worst movies we've ever made, was Wolfman. It was Wolfman and Babe 2 are two of the shittiest movies we put out. In The Wolfman, the cast was awful, the director was wrong, Benicio stunk, it all stunk. Have you guys seen The Wolfman?
No, but what's funny about that is that he specifically says the director stunk, but Universal took the original director off of that movie and put a different guy on. Of course he it was Joe Johnston who we just saw do Captain America,
which is amazing.
Of course he didn't do his best work on that because he came in like a month before they started filming.
Yeah, and I don't think Wolfman's that bad. And in fact, if you get the Blu-ray, which I got at Best Buy. I mean, Blockbuster. For $3.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. And
the director's cut is 35 minutes longer, and there's more story, so it makes way more sense. And then the theatrical cut you saw in the theater, it's all right. I mean,
I'll have to borrow it.
I wouldn't say it's the worst movie they've ever made.
Yeah,
I
don't think so.
I mean, Universal.
It's not impressive.
Yeah, I mean, has
Universal ever made
an
Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah, I think
Click?
Little Nicky?
Billy Madison is Universal.
Oh.
Maybe. Don't quote me on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to call Billy Madison the worst.
And then he went on to say Cowboys and Aliens wasn't good enough. All those creatures bouncing around were crappy. I think it was a mediocre movie, is what he said about Cowboys and Aliens.
Now, see, that's an interesting one, because I think that the sentence Cowboys and Aliens wasn't good enough is true. As much as I love Cowboys and Aliens, it's a divisive movie. Not everybody liked it, and there are certain plot beats in that movie that really stink, especially the ones involving Olivia Wilde. And for how many great names were behind that movie, it was not Star Trek. It was not a huge tentpole movie.
Yeah, but Harrison Ford was amazing in that movie. I loved him in that movie.
He is. There are great things about that movie, and it's way better than people give it credit for. But I think that that first sentence is true.
Yeah.
Then the rest, what he points out as the things that are wrong with it, aren't actually the things that are wrong with it. I don't think that the CG stuff bouncing around is really where the problem lies.
Oh, I don't think so either.
But it's also unfair to point out specific plot points in your own movies. It's crazy that he's even doing this.
I know.
And coming out and being
that's
like,
why I'm kind of talking
hey, we made
about
shit.
it because.
Yeah.
Did you? What do you have to say about Cowboys and Aliens? Do you think it's mediocre?
Yeah, I like you said, the Olivia Wilde, not her performance, but just her character's story. It was kind of. It was a clearly tacked on there.
Yeah, it was clearly like a relic from early scripts that they just couldn't get rid of, that they were trying to write out because they boiled it down so much that they were trying to avoid it, but it was so important to the end that they just couldn't figure out a way to write themselves out of that. That's how it feels to me. But it should have been better than that. Like, they should have taken another 6 months and said, like, we have to get rid of this and just make this Cowboys versus Aliens, you know?
And then the next one is a movie I haven't seen. It's Land of the Lost with Will Ferrell.
Land of the Lost.
And all he said was just crap.
Didn't see it.
That's
his
probably
had a
fair.
couple more words in it, but I mean that's the one I took out of his quote was just crap.
He also said they don't set out to make awful movies.
No,
no
one does.
It's what happens. Yeah.
But my favorite part of actually this article I read was he was talking about Scott Pilgrim, and he said. Scott Pilgrim is actually kind of a good movie, but none of you guys went and saw it. And you didn't tell your friends to go see it.
So that's on you.
Cowboys and Aliens didn't deserve better. Land of the Lost didn't deserve better. Scott Pilgrim did deserve better.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of an interesting article. And I've never... he's the first studio big shot I've ever read where he kind of admitted the mistakes they made making movies.
Well, he was admitting it to a bunch of computer designers, so it's not like he was admitting it to Jay Leno or something.
Well,
so.
But it still got out there,
On
and he's
national
probably
TV.
going to catch some flack for it. But he shouldn't. I mean, the truth is,
He's like Don Draper
You know,
in that one episode where he writes the article and sends it to the paper.
he is. Isn't that fascinating, man? That's a great show, isn't it? Sorry, Ryan.
More on that later.
Madman will help you get your Z's. Remember that old commercial from NyQuil?
It's funny because if you ever really talk to anybody or listen to anybody talk who's in movies, especially people who've made bad movies, they'll all tell you that same thing, that no one sets out to make a shitty movie.
I mean,
like, everybody starts off with the very best intentions, but the truth is, it's a miracle that any movie gets made. Certainly that any movie gets made half decent. I mean,
there's so many hands in the pot, and it's tough. But I thought it was an interesting article when I read it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
I would like to see more people talk that way.
Yeah.
Especially with some hindsight. Like, the nice thing is he doesn't really throw anybody under the bus.
Yeah.
You know, like, he doesn't say... he kind of does with Joe Johnson.
And
he kind of
Benicio del
says...
Toro, he said,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Stunk.
Yeah.
But he's not good in that movie.
Del Toro was a producer on that movie, too.
Yeah, I think actually the biggest problem with that movie is Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, I always thought that...
Because-
like, that seems like it casting for the Wolfman part of the man, but you don't want your main character to be that guy who you can't really relate
with
to.
that movie, even though he's an actor and he went to America, but he has an American accent. Everybody else from England has an England accent. It's really bizarre. Yeah, it's... You have to go back and watch it because his father has a huge English accent. Obviously, it's Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, because when you cast Anthony Hopkins, you don't tell him, hey, can you not talk like you?
Yeah. Well, no, you know what I mean. Like, and it takes
Yeah.
place in England, so it's bizarre.
Yeah.
So, Brett Ratner is no longer producing the Oscars.
Well, it's bigger than that. First, Eddie Murphy left.
No, first it was him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Oh, that's not the way I read it.
He was talking about, and this might explain a lot of his movies. He said, "Rehearsal is for fags."
Well,
And originally, the Academy didn't fire him.
yeah.
But he decided to resign, and then after that, Eddie Murphy said, "Well, if I can't talk like Eddie Murphy." Axel Foley said, "If Brett Ratner isn't going to do it, then I'm not going to do it." And they hired Billy Crystal to do it. So
They didn't hire a new director yet.
yeah, it's
Did they?
Brian Grazer. That
Oh,
dude with,
that's
like
right.
the crazy
he's not
Producer.
really a director. He's a producer.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, Ratner was the
but-
producer,
yeah. Ratner
too.
was
Yeah.
a producer too.
Yeah.
So, and Billy Crystal is a better, I think, trade-off than Eddie Murphy, anyways.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Eddie Murphy was never going to be good. And it'll be interesting to see if Billy Crystal back when he did it in the '90s was great.
Yeah.
Like his Oscar openings were some of the best. Like when Jon Stewart was coming on, everybody talked about like, is this going to be the first time in a long time that we're going to enjoy the Oscars, especially the opening segment, the way that we enjoyed, David Letterman or Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart was pretty good, but it'll be interesting to see if the writers now, with the way that the Oscars are now, will still make Billy Crystal funny. Billy Crystal is inherently funny, but the writing has a lot to do with it too.
I agree, and I actually kind of hoped it would be Neil Patrick Harris, because if you've seen MPH do award shows, he's really good, and because he has that showman. He did the video game awards this last year, and he had this awesome musical number where he was killing people, and
hasn't he done the Tonys?
And he did the Tonys. Done the Tonys a couple times. I mean, I didn't watch the Tonys, but I always watch the highlights, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I always thought he'd be interesting, and so
as long as it's not what they did last year.
But I also read it in the article too that Ratner went on the Howard Stern's show and said he fucked Olivia Wilde, and then he said what, and he's like, "Oh no, I didn't." What a weirdo.
He's going crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to stop defending him for a while.
Yeah. He's stupid.
That's weird.
And
Whoopi Goldberg. How would somebody like Whoopi Goldberg to host the Emmy? Or the truth is, I was talking to my folks about this. I would love for Ricky Gervais to do it. I would love for them to have the balls, and they would never do this because, of course, one of the things about
the Emmys?
He did.
And
people
were upset?
Yeah.
Well, people were upset because he got up there and were like, "You people are ridiculous. This is stupid," and he made fun of them. And it was hilarious. It was really entertaining for those of us at home, and we were like, "Yeah, okay, I want to watch this show now," But then, of course, people got mad because nobody in Hollywood has a sense of humor about what they do. Even though he was making fun of fucking Charlie Sheen, of course he was. That guy's a joke. You know, if we can't make fun of him, we can't make fun of anyone. But I would love to see somebody like that who doesn't just sort of, you know, bow down to this really inflated idea that the Oscars have of themselves.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem with the Oscars is they think they're more important than they really are. Yeah. That's why movies like King's Speech and English Patient win Best Picture, when clearly there's better pictures and more people like certain movies, and just because they're snobby is, I mean, and even though I like Shakespeare in Love, how Saving Private Ryan didn't win that year is beyond me.
Well, yeah, it's because Weinstein is a genius and a salesman. Yeah, the truth is, like, when it comes to the actual awards anymore, I pay more attention to the SAGs and the DGAs, because those are the ones where people who actually do that job are voting for the people they love the most, and especially the DGAs, where all 5 of the directors who get nominated for the DGA that year, they all get awards. Like, they all get the DGA, and then, like, one of them gets up and does, and I think they all do their speeches, and at the end of the night they're like, oh yeah, and that guy won. And that's all it is. So the truth is, all 5 of those guys won the DGA that year, but one guy, you know, got an extra sticker, you know. Which that's the way it should be done, because you really can't compare the 5 or now 10 movies that are the top 10. Yeah. You know, they are the 10 best movies that year, you know.
According to some people. And then the last little thing I have is Mickey Rourke is a crazy method actor, because I guess for Iron Man 2, he went to Russia, studied an accent for 3 months, and then when he got to the set, they wouldn't let him do all the crazy stuff he wanted to do, and he got all pissed off, and he said he would never mail in a performance, and some nerd with a pocket full of money was calling the shots, not him. So
what a dick.
Yeah. Just because he was in the movie we saw today. Anyways, that's all I got for news.
Yeah, he was a dick in that movie too. Dude, Brian K. Vaughan is going to write a TV show, like, by himself. Brian K. Vaughan is running the I believe it's for Showtime. They're adapting Stephen King's Under the Dome, and Brian K. Vaughan has been signed on to be like the lead writer on that show, which I don't know that I give a shit about Under the Dome as an idea, but if Brian K. Vaughan is the guy writing it, I will be there. Yeah. Because I will at least care about those characters, and it'll be plotted, and the cliffhangers will be such that I will keep watching.
Yeah. He's a cool writer.
He is, yeah. And he's coming back to comics too next year.
Nice. I did read that too.
Yeah, he's coming back to comics because Hollywood is too stupid to hire the best talent they've got. Anyway, Ryan, you're a big fan of The Rock, right?
I am.
So does that mean that you're going to see my favorite new titled movie, which is called Journey to the Mysterious Island?
Absolutely not, because I did not go see The Tooth Fairy. I will see The Rock in cool movies. I will not support him in his family crap. I'm
a big fan of Step Up to the Streets. I didn't see it, but I really like the title. Like, I really love the title, Step Up to the Streets. And Journey to the Mysterious Island is almost as good. Like, when I saw that title, I thought somebody spent a good...
Did you watch the trailer?
Oh, yeah, it's horrible.
It's absolutely horrible. I didn't watch it because when I saw the trailer for The Tooth Fairy, I thought it was a fucking joke. I'm like, really?
At no point do they explain how Brendan Fraser turned into a Samoan. Because that is the biggest mystery of them all.
The center of the earth changes you.
Well, I don't know, but they don't explain who the character is. Like, it starts...
He got so close to the lava in the center of the earth it made him brown.
And also way huger.
And way cooler.
Yeah, and probably expanded more funny. Oh, damn it, Brendan Fraser.
And a better actor.
Oh, I really like The Mummy. Yeah, that movie's not going to be good, but I love the title. I do. It took him a good 13 seconds to make it. A little bit of sad news. There will be no Bruce Campbell in Oz the Great and Powerful.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
But he's still pumping it up. If you go to his website, there's a little link for it and everything. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's still, like... He's probably visited the set and was like, hey, man... That's how Bruce Campbell talks in my voice. Hey, man. Yeah. That's actually kind of more like how Sam Raimi
You can be the sarcastic munchkin.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey, baby, how if you want to go down that road there?
Make him Ash as a munchkin. You know, have a torn up blue shirt, some jeans on, shrink him down. Have the scar on the chin. That'd be awesome.
So
why am I not in charge in Hollywood?
Do like a Helena Bonham Carter in Alice in Wonderland? Like just his huge head on a tiny little munchkin body?
Oh, no. Oh, man. My last bit of news involves Tarsem Singh, who we just saw his movie, and we'll talk about what we thought about his movie a little later. But Tarsem Singh came out, and he's talking about, he's made some other stuff, I forget what it is. I think he made Tootsie, I think. Not Tootsie, but like the African
I know he made
movie.
The Cell and...
Oh, that's right.
The Fall? Or The Fallen?
Oh, that's right.
The
The
Fall.
Fall is his. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, he's talking about his next movie is going to be some other thing, but after that, he wants to make a Samurai Jack movie. Did you guys ever watch Samurai Jack?
I saw a little bit on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Old.
Or Cool.
No, Samurai Jack was really great. The art style in that show was kind of revolutionary because they got rid of lines. There are
Agreed.
no outlines on that in that show. It's all just block colors, which I explain that now, and that doesn't sound cool. But the truth is, when you look at the art, you realize, oh, this looks totally different than regular cartoons. On the story is sort of just a kooky, like, oh, here's a way for us to put Samurai Jack in different universes every week and then have him do all this cool action. But what's important is the action in that show was really badass and over the top, and the villain was weird, and every week was a really crazy idea. And I will say, I kind of think that he could do that well. No matter what we say about this movie, the movie we saw tonight, I think that what I saw was somebody who could do a crazy over-the-top action movie about a time-traveling, universe-bending samurai. he might be able to do that really cool. They haven't said yet whether or not it would be... I mean, he's just sort of spitting it off as something he'd like to do. So there's no word on whether it would be
When it comes to
all
production
CG
design, he
or...
definitely knows. He's definitely demonstrated that he can handle making things look spiffy. But yeah,
Can he? I don't know. We'll talk about that because it's interesting you said production design specifically, because that might be the biggest problem I have with Immortals.
interesting.
The biggest
The
problem.
big-
Yeah. Oh yeah, the biggest problem. Brad, do you have any news?
No, I've been moving all week, so I haven't.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
All right.
So I guess we'll go into what we've been watching. Hey guys, have you ever seen Paranormal Activity?
No.
Yes.
Have you seen?
I saw it with you.
Yeah, Brad went with me to see Paranormal Activity. So I'm guessing you haven't seen Paranormal Activity 2.
I have not.
The other night, Laura was working. I was really bored. I couldn't find anything to watch.
Sorry.
It was streaming. I'm like, whatever. I'll watch it. I'll give it a chance because so many people like this movie. And you know how I feel about Mad Men? That's the
Yeah.
exact same thing at Paranormal Activity. It's literally
Except without the character design.
exactly. Where Mad Men, I can get behind John Hamm. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's,
You don't
and
enjoy it, but you see
he's
that
still
there is some art going on.
exactly. Paranormal Activity 2. Okay, so in the first Paranormal Activity, this family's being haunted by something, and when me and Brad went and saw it in this movie, every time this entity would show up, they had like this weird
It's
music,
a ghost.
right?
Can we just say it's a ghost?
No, it's just like a hum.
Yeah, or a hum. It's like, it's not a ghost though.
That's
See,
the
It's not the grudge noise?
no,
yeah.
it's not a ghost. You find out Paranormal Activity 2 is actually a prequel.
Yeah.
So it's her sister is with her husband and her stepdaughter, and she's being visited by this demon that the first night it takes the pool cleaner out of the pool and puts it on the ground. Did I scare you yet? This is true. Okay. And
So like you mean like the automatic
Yeah,
like
yeah, like
the pool vacuum just sort of
Exactly.
like vacuums up out of the pool and is like
yeah. So
now I'm vacuuming your deck.
yeah. So it's out of the pool.
That
and
sounds
then-
that sounds like an
This
like
is
an
literally the
innuendo.
first 45 minutes, and they're either going, "But you didn't put that out of the pool." You're like, "So what?" And then you try
Maybe
to get,
maybe the fox pulled it out of the pool because it thought it was a dead bird.
maybe, and so it keeps on.
End of drama.
It keeps on going on, and then at one point, a high chair falls over for no reason.
Did somebody kick it?
No.
No way. What?
Yeah, and so this. You find out that this demon gets
Hates high chairs.
It hates high chairs, and it also hates dogs because the dog barks at it all the time, so it hurts the dog. But you don't see it hurt the dog.
Oh, I was gonna say, oh man, I can't see that movie. But if we don't see it hurt the dog,
It makes noises though, and then
like does it make like
yeah,
like those noises?
yeah, and then all of a sudden demon gets more powerful the more you fear it. And it turns out it's looking for the firstborn boy in this line of family because their great aunt sold her soul to a demon to get rich, and the first boy wasn't born until these girls had this boy.
How did they learn all this? Did the demon?
Oh, they went online. The stepdaughter went online.
Wait, went online to what site? Can I go to this site?
I don't know.
Does the demon have a website?
Maybe.
Are there?
And then in the first one, remember when that dude flew into the camera, and then that chick, like, looked at the camera and had like a demon face? She shows up at their house, breaks the guy's neck, kills his wife, and takes her baby. They're never heard of again. Did I just terrify you guys? Those movies are so fucking stupid.
Wait,
I like Doug Benson's description of it. Paranormal Activity 3. It's scary if you find a chair falling over terrifying.
Yeah.
Is Paranormal Activity 4 going to have a subtitle, The Demon Webmasters?
Maybe it just comes
because that's what it's all
camera.
going back to, right?
Remember
because now
Pulse?
this one's in the 80s, right?
Yeah,
So the next one will,
I'm
oh no,
guessing.
so the next one will be
see, now I know the
70s.
premise of the
There
third
weren't-
one, because the girls mentioned in the second one that they were harassed by a demon and their mom went crazy when they were kids. But they thought her mom was just crazy.
Ooh.
But it turns out, no, guys.
Did her mom make the web? Wait, her mom's
But
dead.
see, what doesn't make sense about that
Who made the
whole
website?
thing is, why is a demon terrorizing these girls when it's going after the first male-born? It's so stupid. Just don't watch the movie.
The demon's just a prick.
And I watched Snakes on a Plane, and that movie's stupid too. But
No.
at least it has Samuel L. Jackson.
Hey, Snakes on a Plane is not stupid. Your wife and I are friends because of Snakes on a Plane.
I know. She pointed out something to me, though, I missed on Snakes on a Plane. When the male flight attendant throws a snake in the microwave, he hits a button that says snake.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that movie has snake vision. How
It
can you
does.
not like it?
It's what it is. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's
not good.
No, but the part that, you have to love is when the heroic music starts playing and Samuel L. Jackson stands up and is like, that is it! I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. And then he just goes ape shit like Samuel can.
Yeah,
And that's what I saw
everyone
this week.
when I saw it in theaters, everyone in my theater cheered at that moment. So much so that you couldn't actually hear Samuel L. Jackson say that line. The problem is there were only about 7 people in that movie, which is why that movie didn't do well.
The one thing I do remember when that movie came out is our friend Joe. I got a phone call from him one day.
Yes,
And I picked up the phone because it said Joe. And I answered it and I said, hello. And it was Samuel L. Jackson. He's like, hey, Ryan, this is Samuel L. Jackson telling you to get your ass to go see Snakes on a Plane. So that was a pretty cool marketing thing.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, I remember those things. They were so much fun.
Yep, so that's what I saw this week.
Brad, what'd you say?
I got all caught up with Mad Men.
That's probably why he looks so lethargic right now.
By all caught up, you
It's because this
mean-
chair doesn't have a back. I have to lay back like I'm passed out.
By all caught up, you mean all the way up to through season 4?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
enjoying everything, and then Don Draper proposed to get married to that one chick. And I was like, why would you do this? You're a free man. You're obviously going to just cheat on her too. Like,
I don't know.
you've
Maybe
got what
he
you
won't.
want. You don't need her to take care of the kids because Betty Draper pretty much does most of that. Why are you doing this? Why are we treading this old ground again?
We shall see. Well,
yeah.
we're not treading old ground as far as the show is concerned because we never saw that section of.
Well, I mean,
Betty's
what's his name?
relationship.
Sterling is kind of did the same thing too.
Those guys kind of did that then.
I know. It's just like I already spent 4 seasons watching that unfold.
I don't believe that where the show is going to go after this is going to be in any way similar to what we've already seen. I think their
Right.
relationship is going to be fairly different.
I hope
But,
so. But I'm just saying, if that was the end of that season, I was like, really?
Yeah, I mean it's not the strongest.
That's the direction we're going in.
Yeah.
I like the advertising part, and I've seen less and less
there's
campaigns and
definitely less
advertising.
and less of it over time. Absolutely.
So
Because it's that show is becoming more and more about those characters and what's going on.
yeah. I'm more interested in okay, what kind of big marketing stuff was going on in 1966? I guess we're in now.
Yeah.
So
I'm terrified that Glenn is going to stab Sally Draper in the face. Spoilers. But I'm
yeah, that
terrified
creepy
of
kid.
Glenn.
Yeah, he's
Who
turning
is
into
actually
a
Matt Weiner's
sociopath.
son. Do you know that? The kid who plays Glenn is actually Matt Weiner's son.
I don't know that.
Yeah, which is part of why he's not a very good actor.
I don't know if he's playing creepy. He's got it nailed down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that show when they just talk? I've seen one episode 3 times.
Yeah, you should watch
No,
more.
you've seen three different episodes. You just can't tell the difference.
Yep, maybe.
But damn, the dog food episode. It's a great one. It's actually, it's spoilers for the show. It's the episode when Sally Draper finds out that Don Draper is not really Don Draper. I call it the dog food episode because it has to do with dog food. That episode is wonderful, mostly because it's the point where I start to really love Roger, which is important because Roger is maybe my favorite part of season 4.
Did his character change like within 5 episodes of the first season? Because he seems like such an upstanding, like responsible guy, and then
Wait, early?
throughout the rest of the show, he's just like this complete screw up.
Oh, I don't agree. Like, I think he's in the first few episodes. I think he's kind of a dick.
Really?
Yeah, like in the first season or so.
Brad, I really relate to that guy.
I mean, maybe, yeah, I can see what you're saying in the first few episodes because you don't know him that well, that he just seems like he's the business guy who's there the whole time.
I got the impression.
But as time goes on, you realize he doesn't really do anything.
Right. But I feel like the first 5 episodes, the writers intended him to be like the straight, upstanding, like Burt Cooper is supposed to be the weird, wacky partner, and then Sterling, and then halfway through they're like, Sterling's not interesting enough, so make him like deplorable. And
well, part of that is also that I think that because the show actually leaps in time and we're not used to that, I think that those characters do change a little from season to season. I'm not saying that you're not wrong. You know, it is very possible that the writers just decided, like, we want him to be different now. But it could be that their justification for that is that it's been 4 years, and I don't know.
Granted, his character's going through some wacky, like, midlife crisis stuff. But
exactly. That's the thing, is that Sterling, at a certain point, when he starts doing that kind of stuff where he's midlife crisis-y and he's writing his own book, and you're like...
How about that blackface thing?
Yeah, right?
How would you feel like... Oh, I can't imagine, like, being an actor and, like, having to put... Like, he really commits to it. Like, so... over the top, and it's like so offensive to not that
everyone.
I'm like terribly offended by it, but just imagining other people's reaction to that, how other people get so upset by it, just and they showed it on network TV, obviously.
Yeah, well, they get they do a lot of
but
stuff.
I never heard anyone talk about it. But it's like the most like it looks like the most offensive thing I've seen in a long time. Like the Dumbo crows, like who cares? Like this guy is.
Well, but it was offensive. Like they were doing it knowing that it was offensive. Like they weren't doing it to be offensive.
Right.
They were doing it as part of that time when you could do that, and it was still offensive.
Right.
But in a way that
John Draper's reaction is like the audience's reaction. But
yeah,
I'm just imagining someone who's not familiar with the show tuning into that.
Oh, yeah.
Like just turning on to AMC and like, what the?
Why are these guys in suits laughing at this guy in blackface? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I will watch some more Frasier. Just to pass the time.
Cool.
I'm trying to get off Mad Men because Ryan's really bored right now.
Yeah, no. I agree.
What'd you watch, James?
Yeah. Well, a couple of things. First of all, actually, this is the second thing I watched, but I'm going to talk about it first. AMC, while we're talking about it, AMC premiered its new show for the fall called Hell on Wheels this last Sunday. Did either of you get a chance to see it?
I haven't.
I saw the preview.
Interesting.
That's it.
Yeah, it's
Do trains have wheels?
Yes.
Well, in Hell on... they're called something else.
Yeah, no. They have wheels. Yeah. They run on wheels that run on tracks.
I didn't know they called them wheels. I thought they were just
track
grabbers. They're round, like the first invention was the wheel and it's round. And sometimes wheels run on tracks.
I think James is talking down to you right
now. Fuck you, James.
It's a wheel. Like it doesn't like it's
hang
not
up your microphone and get the fuck out.
It's not a cog, it's a wheel. Like
Brad's
even if it has a slightly different word, it's a wheel, absolutely. And Helen Wheels. Anyway, I'll talk about what the show means.
I just thought there was a different term for train wheels.
I mean, there might be a secondary term, but
the tracks aren't called a train road. They're called tracks.
No, because that's not a road. They're called tracks because they're wheels that run on tracks.
Them
a dirt road's dirt. A paved road is a road, but we don't call a train road a road.
Oh my god!
They're tracks.
A dirt road is dirt.
Train wheels can have a different name too. I'm going to make one up. You keep telling your stupid story, and I'm going to think up a name for
wheels.
Train wheels.
Like even if there were a different word for them,
steamrollies.
They would. All right. So anyway, Hell on Steamrollies is about
metal discs.
It's set during the time when they were building railroad east and west to meet in the middle to build a railroad across the United States. And Hell on Wheels is the name of the camp that is at the outskirts where they're digging the track. They're digging the part where the track is going to be. And we're introduced to this guy whose name I don't know because we don't know that much about him yet. He fought for the South in the Civil War. His wife was killed, and he was sort of looking for a couple of people that he wanted to kill because they were responsible for his wife's death, though we don't know what they did yet. So we actually meet him as he's killing this dude, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's on a train out to work in this camp, and he's put in charge of the black guys who are digging that first section of the train route. And it's got Cole Meany in it, who plays the guy who's in charge, who's like running the whole operation. And anyway, it's really good. It doesn't set up too much, and I think the character development is a little bit lacking because it feels like it's not doing a lot to try and get you interested in the show. It's simply starting a story, and so it sort of sets up a couple of little subplots. One which is absolutely fantastic, and it ends on that note, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta know what's happening there. But that doesn't feel like the main plot of the show. It just feels like it's more of an atmospheric pilot where they're like, okay, this is the history and this is where we're living, and if you're interested in that, come back to the show. And I think they do a really good job of it. The weird thing about it is that it has a really kind of, I don't even want to call it brave, I want to call it a cocky ending, because it ends with Cole Meany giving a speech to no one that we see. Like, he's sitting in a chair on the train, and we assume that where we are as the camera is somebody else that he's talking to, but he starts off giving a speech about there's going to be drama, and there's going to be tension, and there's going to be excitement, and all this stuff, and you realize, like, he's giving us a laundry list of what stuff is going to be in this TV show, and you're like, this is weird. And then he goes into this really interesting speech about how, because he is clearly an asshole. Like, even in the pilot, he's clearly going to be an asshole.
Is he going to be the Al Swearingen character?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's very much the Al Swearingen character, if you've watched Deadwood. Though he swears better, I should say, and less. He swears more historically accurately.
What's the deal with AMC? Do they swear?
I mean,
or do they let it go?
No, they swear less than FX does. Like,
because I've heard "fuck" on Mad Men, but sometimes it gets bleeped too.
Yeah, it's bleeped when it's shown on television, but they let them film it. Breaking Bad does the same thing. There's a couple times where he gets to say "fuck"
early
but
on.
It's not even bleeped. It's the sound drops out. It's that one. The way that they do it that doesn't interfere with the story. I hate bleeps.
I was confused on Netflix because they do both. I'm like,
weird.
How does it play on network TV? But sorry, anyway, go on. Speech.
Oh, so he's giving this speech, and it turns into him saying, like, 100 years from now, when there's a railroad crossing America, and America's the most powerful country in the world, I will be remembered as an asshole. Like, he doesn't say asshole, but he's like, I will be remembered as this fiend, but without people like me, without me, there would never be a railroad. And then that's sort of the idea that it ends on, and I was like, okay, cool. I like it. I'm really excited about it. I think they're going to do something really interesting, and the main character is a different kind of main character than we've seen. It has a few problems. I don't think it's well directed. There's a really bad fight scene with an Indian that's just shot
Native
poorly.
American?
No, he's an American Indian. That's all right.
I'm going to play the politically correct person on this, I guess.
Oddly enough.
Yeah. Since when? But anyway, the show is great. It's got Common in it as a black dude.
He's black?
African American, James.
God, no, he's
Next you're
black.
going to say those people digging the railroad.
No, he's covered in ash the whole time. He is black. No, he's not. But he's really good. I always like him when he shows up, even though I shouldn't like rappers who turn actors, or any kind of music star. I don't want to be racist against black people who rap, or Eminem for that matter. Anyway, so that's really good, and people should check it out. The other thing I watched was Crazy Stupid Love, because last week we talked about it. Ryan lent me his copy. That, it was earlier this year. It's Steve Carell. That movie's great.
It is great.
That movie's really, really great. It's actually, I almost want to say that it is the third movie in the trilogy, in the Roger Dodger trilogy, in my brain, because like it's the same plot as Roger Dodger in a lot of ways. Roger Dodger is a movie. I used it in an article earlier this summer when I was talking about movies that most people have not seen but they should. It's a movie about Jesse Eisenberg plays this little kid who isn't very good with women in high school, and so he goes and hangs out with his uncle, who is really sort of a dog. Like, he goes to clubs and picks up women every night, and that's what he's really good at. And so he's trying to learn about love, in quotes, from his uncle. And then, in my mind, Adventureland is that same movie, is that same character 10 years later, still the only person in the world who believes in real love, surrounded by people who don't. And then this is a movie about a middle-aged guy who goes and befriends that same guy in a club who knows how to pick up women, and that leads to him sort of rediscovering love himself.
Are all these movies from the same screenwriter?
No, they're all completely different movies.
You're just associating them yourself?
I associate them myself, absolutely. There's except for the fact that
it's the same director, but
except for the fact that Jesse Eisenberg is in the first two, there is no association other than the fact that they are the same story. 3 times, pretty much 3. Especially Roger Dodger and Crazy Stupid Love are the same story, with a few little tweaks.
Yeah, you know, that's actually one of my favorite movies of the year, because I'm actually becoming a really big Ryan Gosling fan.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
He goes from, he's so hot.
But Brad, you haven't seen the 2 Ryan Gosling movies this year. You can't shake your head at this.
I saw Drive.
Oh, okay. All right.
Drive is amazing.
Yeah.
And then he's really good in that without saying very much. And then in Crazy Stupid Love, he starts off as I'm a super cocky and I can get any girl I want. But then when you start peeling away the layers of his character, really good. Really good.
And, that I think from the trailer makes this movie out to be a very sort of paint-by-numbers kind of movie where well, of course, Steve Carell is going to teach Ryan Gosling's character how to love, and they're both going to learn to love themselves, That's obvious, but the way that the movie goes about it is really not only unique, but fun. There are some things in there that you don't expect, and you learn to love characters in ways, in odd ways.
Yeah,
it's almost a vignette movie, because it really is like there's 2 stories going on at the same time.
Yeah, it's like a ensemble cast, but I don't know. You'd have to watch it. It's really good. You should check it out. But, the part that actually broke my heart was at the very beginning, and, Steve Carell is...
It's ruined by the trailer. But...
Yeah, his wife, is getting a divorce, and then he's moving all this stuff out, and Julianne Moore asks, and she says, "When did we stop being a couple?" And he's like, "Oh, no, maybe the time when you slept with, what's his name?"
Shit.
Kevin Bacon's character has a name that they always mispronounce in it, and then at the end,
Dan Netter something.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should check it out, because I was really worried that the trailer gave away the ending where him and Julianne Moore are sitting at the school, but it's actually the midway part of the movie, and how they keep on going on is really interesting.
If I had a critique about the movie, it is that where a movie like Spanglish does the scene where a husband finds out that his wife has been cheating, and Adam Sandler is brilliant in that scene. You really feel like his world has broken in half. In this movie, I don't think that they villainize Julianne Moore enough.
Yeah.
She fucks everything up in this guy's life. And yes, the story is really about him learning lessons and getting through this. But when he makes little mistakes and hiccups along the way, she still comes out of it clean, even though you're like, well, wait a second, why is no one mad at this woman? She has destroyed this,
Yeah,
I feel like that is my one critique, which is hard because the movie isn't... that's not its intention. It's not paying attention to her, and in not paying attention to her, it also boils up that problem. But it's a great movie, and everybody should check it out. Even if you watch that trailer and you're like, that seems a little bit cliche. No, you need to see it, because it's not.
It's not at all.
I just want to watch Emma Stone on screen.
And
she is great. Emma Stone is
in that
great.
movie.
I mean,
sweet.
I was already an Emma Stone fan, and then she did things where I went, "Holy shit!"
I know, when I saw her in that movie, I'm like,
good at
sweet
this.
Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, I mean, there are moments where she is not acting. She is just this person. And I mean, it's kind of easy because I imagine that the person that she is in this movie is kind of who she is in real life. But still, it was great. She's wonderful.
I agree. So, anything else, James, that you've watched?
No. I mean, other than DS9
and The Walking Dead, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But
Brad, did you catch up on Walking Dead this week?
I forgot about it.
That's okay. That's why. Yeah.
Make sure you check it out.
The
We won't
last
say
couple
anything about it
episodes.
because
The last couple episodes have been really good, but
really
we can't
good.
talk about them.
But James, should people go see Immortals?
Brad,
Brad, should people go see?
Sure, if they love
Immortals?
crappy movies.
I'm
mean-
gonna say I'm on the fence on this one.
Yeah, I would say like maybe rent it.
Yeah,
like
I'd
if
say
it
maybe rent.
seems interesting or if it gets on Netflix streaming, like it's not complete trash, but don't give it too much of your time.
Roll trailer.
Long before man roamed these lands, there was a war in heaven. The victors declared themselves gods, while the vanquished were renamed Titans, and forever imprisoned within the bowels of Mount Tartarus. King Hyperion and his legions seek to unleash the Titans and wage war upon this world.
I will end the reign of the gods.
If there is one human who could lead them against Hyperion, it would be Theseus. I have faith in you. Prove me right.
I don't know if I can do what Zeus asks of me, but you can see the future.
I cannot change the future. You can.
Fight for honor! Fight for your future! Fight for immortality!
The thing that's interesting about this movie, I saw the previews maybe a year ago. I'm like, oh, this movie looks stupid.
Yeah.
And then I saw a little more of it. I'm like, maybe this movie won't be too bad. And then it was released on a day when nothing else came out, so we went and saw it. But I want to say that the story is about a man who's handpicked by the gods to stop an evil king from taking over the world. But I don't know if they actually made that plot point in the movie.
Yeah, I don't even know that plot is really even
Because-
is relevant or clear in any way because when the gods get involved, you don't understand why they're doing anything, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even really matter.
Or why they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
The movie, we should say, the movie is produced by the same people who made 300, and plot-wise, other than the gods' involvement, it's the same movie.
Yeah, you know,
like,
when I was watching it, I got the sense that it was Clash of the Titans, but R-rated.
yeah,
but not as. This sounds
Clash of
really,
the Titans
this sounds really
really-
stupid, but like Clash of the Titans was a tighter script.
Oh,
where
yeah.
you understood why he was fighting and what he was doing. In this one, it's just, hey, I'm an old man and I'm Zeus posing as an old man. Spoiler, and
and Clash of the Titans is trying to be. I don't think it succeeds, but it's trying to be more than this movie is. Where
Yeah.
like that is a full big budget movie with big set pieces. There is no point in this movie where they fight a giant CG monster. Actually, I thought there was going to be because there's a
Yeah,
fight
the
against the
Titans.
Minotaur, and then they went again. They went in a way that I actually think was really cool with the Minotaur that that doesn't require them to do any kind of CG or
Yeah.
any
Yeah, I mean, you can't really take. I mean, like I thought the costumes were cool. I think the Minotaur
Yeah, I
guy
think the
looked cool with the
costumes-
barbed wire and.
The costumes to me were the best part of the production design. The production design itself is what I really hate. Like when it's just CG stuff, when it was 300 style, then I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like there's, it looks like it's CG, but at least I can forgive it that because I know that they're making it on like. I mean, this movie was made for so cheap that they all they needed is all of the people who run a movie podcast to go see it this week, and they'll make their money back. Like that is how cheap this movie clearly is. But then when there were pulled back shots, especially at the beginning when there's a shot of the little village, and like he walks out of a shack that they built for like $25 at the Home Depot, and like they hung a dead animal on it. Like that set was so cheap. And those were the shots where I was like, "Oh no, this is why? How did you let this happen?" But then the costumes are all really cool. It just seems like, they were trying for more than 300. There's a couple of sets, and then there's this one place where a whole lot of dudes fight a whole lot of other dudes, and so you don't need a lot. Like you create a couple CG backgrounds and a couple CG rooms, and you have people talk to each other in some rags that they wear. And that's all the money that you need. And for the same amount of money, they tried to have them go to all these places and have these, big fights that it feels cheaper.
And correct me if I'm wrong. When they rode the horses to the Great Wall, did they just run past the huge bad guy army? Did that make sense to anybody?
Oh, none of the logistics make any sense. I don't know why
a lot
they
of characters' motivations make any sense.
I don't know why the first place that we see the bad guys attack is a village nestled on a cliff that is probably really hard to get to and seemingly has about 6 people and a shack in it. Like I don't know why
It's like
they were
Mesa
there in
Verde.
the first place. Yeah, and there was a labyrinth. I don't know.
Brad, you haven't said very much.
I know you guys been talking. What do you want me to say? I told you I didn't want to see this to begin with, and I left feeling validated.
When we got to the theater, Brad was so against the movie that it was like...
Because you say there was nothing out this week, but James gave me a list of like 6 or 8 movies that I think at least one of them was...
There were 4 movies. One of them was J. Edgar, which has as bad of a rating as this and is twice as long, so fuck that.
Just because other people you don't know said stuff about it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Just because other people said stuff about Immortals that you don't like, you don't want to see them?
My opinion was formed by the trailer, which I saw myself.
Oh, this is true. This is true.
Yeah. The production design, very cheap, was totally mimicking 300. The backgrounds were obviously just like a small set against a huge green screen. It's terrible.
And yet still better than Conan the Barbarian this year, because at least things moved in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
In Conan the Barbarian, it was like a painting, and then they stood Rachel Nichols in front of it as like, "Here, lady, go to that city."
Then early on they make such a big deal about the old man being old. Like that's his whole character arc.
Oh
it's
god,
like,
yeah.
Yep, I'm an old man. Yeah, I'm old. Yep, I can't. I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about. Here's some wisdom. It's just so trite and recycled and.
I want John.
Poor John Hurt.
I want him to show up in more movies like this, where he wanders in, people make fun of him for being old, and then he says some stuff that I guess is intelligent or even understandable, and then he leaves. I want that to happen in like every shitty movie I see from now on, because it's John Hurt, and he walks on and you think he's gonna say something Shakespearean, and then he says like, "Good job hitting that tree with a stick, boy," and you're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
No.
And then you got the character Zeus, and I know he's got a daughter, but then I figure out like one of the other guys is his son, but
he's not,
he's like,
because it was like Poseidon.
If any of
Poseidon's
you disobey
not
me,
Zeus's son.
I'll kill you. And then they disobey him. The one guy gets off scot-free because he makes it look like an accident, and then his daughter and his son interfere blatantly, and he totally is fine killing the son, but his daughter he lets get off scot-free.
I can actually explain that one. I can. I know this
Hurry
is
up.
crazy. Okay, here we go.
I'm trying to talk.
Okay, here we go. I can explain this one. So, Zeus is mad. Okay, so Helios and Athena come down and save Theseus, because there's like 8 dudes
and
there.
Stephen Dorff.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
his character's
So
name?
our heroes.
Yeah, which his character has like a southern accent, by the way.
Oh, you have to
That's
ignore
how
the
they're
accent.
twang and they're
So our
Greek,
heroes
I
are
like-
there, and there's like 8 dudes, right? And the gods come down and beat the shit out of these guys, and Zeus is pissed off because he's like, "You guys, It was 8 dudes. Like, there was going to be a really cool action scene here. Like, Theseus was going to whip out his sword. We've seen him do cool shit already. Like, he could stab all these dudes with spears, and he can, like, stab a dude with a spear, and then break the spear, and then stab the next dude with the broken spear, and then break that spear. Like, he could do cool shit. There was going to be an action scene here, you guys. But you just showed up and blew everybody's heads up. What the hell are you doing? You're ruining the movie, gods.
Which I'll give it that.
That's
why
why
the
Zeus
balance
is pissed
cool,
off.
But
No, but I actually
Well, I
thought
know
that was
why-
one of the coolest scenes in the movie when he came down, was just mashing people's heads and,
Yeah.
and they're exploding.
Well, I
It's
think
pretty
it's
sweet.
cool at that point in the movie because you haven't seen it already. In hindsight, knowing that the last 20 minutes are the gods breaking people in half and blood going everywhere. I feel like if you, like, now looking back, that scene is not as cool. Like, I would rather have a scene there where Theseus kicks ass than knowing that at the end we're going to get this payoff where the gods are finally going to intervene and be like, I'm going to smash these dudes. Like,
And
see
that's
what I'm
the
saying?
thing is, like, why do they wait till Hyperion breaks out the Titans? Like,
Oh, I
why are
don't
they
fucking-
making everyone else go through all this trouble
Ah.
when inevitably they have to come down and save the day anyway?
Because the plot is shit.
Well, actually, me and Brad were talking. It seems like they had like the Helios scene where he, uses a Mjolnir and just destroys people, and then they had that huge scene at the end. They're like, well, we have these cool fight scenes. I guess we have to make a movie around it.
Yeah.
Well, but they could have really easily done, like, all they had to do was boil everything down the way that 300 does, where there's like 4 talking scenes in 300, and then the rest of it is dudes killing other dudes. And the dudes killing other dudes part is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
that's all we want. So all you have to do is make, like, really telegraph your story, a simple story to us through a couple of scenes at the beginning and in the middle and at the end, and then have fighting in the middle, and that's all we need. Like, there's this long... There's all this stuff about, like, trying to get him and the Oracle together and all of that we don't need. I mean, and by the way, this is maybe the most offensive movie I've seen all year as far as their involvement of a female character.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the Oracle shows up, and basically her whole purpose in the movie is to get our hero to the thing that he needs so that he can continue the story. And then once she serves that purpose, he has sex with her. And then that's all she does. She doesn't do anything else for the rest of the movie. I mean,
She prays.
yeah.
I'm guessing in 3D because her hand was...
And part of the reason that that's such a problem is that they put so much emphasis on the fact that they put so much emphasis on her sexuality because
she's a virgin.
her
power comes
powers
from that,
are
yeah.
based on the fact that she's a virgin. So when she loses that, she loses her powers. And so, since that is all steeped in her sexuality, it makes that stand out even more.
Yeah.
And it would not be okay, but it would be slightly more validated if this movie had the proper ending where Theseus stabs Hyperion in the dick, and then he's like, you can't have children anymore, since Hyperion's whole plan is like, I'm gonna rape all the women, and then all the women are gonna have my face babies. Like, that's his whole plan. I want to kill the gods, and then I want to have my face babies with everyone. So you stab him in the dick, and then you have Theseus start getting his ass kicked again, and then the Oracle shows up and stabs him in the back of the head with a sewing needle and kills Hyperion herself. And you're like, oh, dude, okay, cool. She got to actually do something, because she was badass early on when she was like, she and her sisters were praying, and then they were like, the guards came in for no reason, and then like, we're gonna stab you in the face.
Why
like,
did the guards come in?
I don't know,
Because they said, we'll take care of the guards. And then they'd start swaying, and the guards are like, what are they going on in here?
What are those chicks doing? Let's go get a really close look at it.
Man, I hope they don't stab me in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, like 20 of them. Like, hey, everybody, stand up and walk over here.
Yeah. Because at that point in the movie, I was like, oh, okay, in the same way that 300 has the really badass super chick in it, like, oh, okay, this Oracle that we think is going to be, because she's so slight and, innocent seeming, she's going to be really badass.
Yeah.
Well, no, she's not. Like, she and her sister stab these guys, and then
And she
they,
just
and then they get
disappears from
beat
the
up.
mountaintop.
Yeah. And she, like, goes out the back door, and then she lets him in her back door, and then that's the whole thing.
Hey-o.
Yeah, my feeling is this movie just reeks of, all right, we need a 300 in 3D. And we've got this cool scene in our heads of gods fighting titans in 3D and like really stylish, like 300.
Well,
but we don't know what else to do, so just hire a writer, pad it out, and then get it out there.
And they weren't titans. They were really the frost giants from Thor.
Yeah.
Well, they're even giants, though.
No.
They're giants.
Why are they even alive? Like, why does Zeus have them in a cage?
The frost giants aren't even really giants either. But, well, because in actual mythology, the titans are all, like, locked up, but they're also Titan, like they're huge usually. Like
they
Kronos is
God of
huge.
War.
Atlas is so huge he holds up the sky. Like that's what they are.
I'm
They're
just
big.
saying God of War did it better because in God of War you climb on Cronus' back and there's a whole level.
If they're such a menace, though, to the why are they around? Like, if Zeus is so powerful, why
because
is he keeping
in
in a
actual
cage?
mythology they can't actually kill each other.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or
Made
like,
this movie more useless.
they kill each other and then they come back. Like they smash Kronos, but Kronos comes back. Like, because, yeah. I mean, the best thing about this movie is that the theater was really packed. And I say that because it means that if this movie does really well, maybe they'll make a God of War movie.
I read on
that would be
IMDb
really
it
good.
made 1.4 million in midnight screenings. So people were that interested in it to go see it last
which is
night.
Crazy. I thought the trailer looked like such shit. Like, why would people go see this movie? But the truth is, most people are dumb.
Yeah, there was.
I'm not going to get more listeners saying that.
No, but it's true. I mean, there was a phone that rang behind me. I get my seat kicked, and there was this lady who was talking too much.
Yeah.
I mean, it was way better than Belmar, but it was still.
It's,
there was a point. The lady who talked too much. Let me just say, there's a point early on where this guy betrays them, and he stabs this guy and then throws him off a cliff, and we see him fall down the cliff.
Oh yeah, she said, "Where's the splash?"
Yeah, we saw him cut away. Notice she said, "I wanted to see the splash," and it bugged me for like 5 minutes. I'm sitting there thinking, why? He splashes. What were you gonna see? Wait, why? You didn't. Why did you need to see the splash? I don't understand. Like, I kept thinking about it. Like, what did you want that for?
That's the kind of person who loves exposition
That's
scenes.
That's the kind of person who talks in a movie theater. Anyway.
But what was up? I mean, I don't mind when they have American accents in those movies because I think sometimes when you try to do an English or whatever accent, you sound stupid. But Stephen Dorff was way out of place. Where Mickey Rourke was okay because he's a villain and he just
sounds weird
villain,
anyway. So
yeah.
you're like he's just chewing scenery, so it doesn't matter what his voice sounds like.
But then Stephen Dorff, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it too much because the truth is, I kind of take the when Bryan Singer made Valkyrie, he took the standpoint of like, you know what, we all know that's a movie. Like,
yeah, that part didn't bother me. It just seemed really miscast.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I thought he did a good job. It's just that you noticed that he sounds a little.
And they made a
different.
big deal about that bow and arrow, and then the bow, and then he just lost it, and it didn't really matter.
I feel like it would be unfair of us to judge him on the fact that his voice sounds weird when there's also an Indian chick wandering around.
Oh no, I didn't think it was his voice. I mean, I just think the character alone.
Yes. His character seemed like it was the American off the streets wandered into.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's got all the slang terms and the.
Oh yeah, because at one point when he pins him, he's like, "Was it something I said?" That bugged me for a while too. I was like, "Why did?"
So that's what I mean. Like, just out of place.
Yeah, I see that.
And did you guys see Superman in Theseus? Because he's Superman in Man of Steel.
I didn't notice until
that's
the credits.
Right. That's right. I forgot. Yeah,
doesn't really look like Superman to me.
I don't give a shit about Superman. Well, he certainly doesn't look like Superman here because he doesn't have the curly Q haircut.
Well, he doesn't in the pictures. You've seen his pictures, like,
oh yeah,
it's like slick back hair.
He's got a giant cup on.
Yeah,
I hate to say that. I noticed that, but like, he looks weird.
Anyways, if you want to see
pop
heads
a boner
explode,
flying around at light speed there.
Well, this is true. Or just
poke someone's eye out.
If you're Superman, there's a high probability of getting kicked in the nuts, and you don't want that either.
Superman had long hair too, so I don't know that the curly Qs really need to be standard.
Yeah.
So if you want to see heads explode, I mean, it's all right. You can rent it.
Yeah, I think that the action at the end is actually kind of cool.
No,
it's kind of cool and very outlandish, which is again why I said the thing about Samurai Jack, because that kind of just sort of crazy off the wall stuff.
I think you're right. I think the director has visual style for sure.
Yeah, but I don't think he's playing with the best tools.
No, and I didn't mind the movie that much, but when they showed the title of the movie, Immortals, at the beginning, I'm like, wow, that looks really cheese dick. When it was above the oracles.
Yeah.
For a minute there, I thought it was about to go into like a 70s version, like a 70s type Roman movie.
It was a sort of old feeling title.
Yeah, and then it quickly got modern. And I was like, oh, okay, back to sleep.
So so are we seeing Twilight next week?
I am.
What else comes out? I don't even know.
I'm not even. I mean, I've already made plans.
See, but the thing is, I don't want to spend money on it.
I don't care.
Well, you can spend $5. I heard.
Yeah, I mean, we can see it as a matinee, the first showing on Sunday. And not
Yeah,
spend
but
my-
Sierra wants to come and she's got work.
on Sunday.
Oh, on Sunday. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh shit. Fuck.
I mean, it doesn't
If
matter.
we
might-
see it on Sunday, everyone will already have watched the movie, and
I
they
think-
won't
I
need
think-
our commentary.
I think I'm working.
It's not a big deal. I mean, we can see it Friday night. I just don't want to, but whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to go Friday night because of the crowd.
Pretty sure I'm going Friday night.
What's next week? November 18th?
Yeah, I think it's just
Happy
that
Feet?
movie. Happy Feet and that movie. I think
And
are the only ones. that
Hero,
come out.
Hitler, and Love?
Bird.
The Lie, Tyrannosaur, The Descendants?
Tyrannosaur.
Mm.
It's an
Rid-
Indian
rid of
movie.
me.
What's a stupid name?
At CU on the 14th, they're having a special
Yikes.
screening of the Muppets. But you have to be a CU student to get in there. But Qdoba sponsors. It's called the Student Program Council, and they do all these free movies that come out in a couple weeks. That they start the buzz at the campus. So I should call them and see if we can get tickets to it.
Well, that would be cool.
So you can get a couple weeks early.
Otherwise, I still have that day before Thanksgiving off. And we
Yeah,
can
I'm
do it
going to take
then.
that day off too because
Yeah.
I get extra day off that week.
Yeah.
But anyways, like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. You can email us. No emails yet to go see Anonymous with Brad at realnerds@gmail.com.
I'm so
I
popular.
will. I will still pay.
James will pay for your movie ticket. realnerds@gmail.com. You can also read our blogs that I need to put my blog up. I wrote a blog about my 10 favorite heroes and casting the Uncharted movie. I'll put those up in the next week.
Is one of them Spider-Man?
It is. Surprisingly.
Oh wait. Did you cast Nathan Drake as? Wait.
As himself?
Oh, you mean as the hero, the top 10 heroes?
Yeah, well, I have the top 10 heroes, and then I took the Uncharted characters, and I put an actor with him who I'd like to see play the part.
Right. Wait, but I just got a really good idea because, well, he might look too young. What's his name? The guy who's playing Spider-Man.
Oh, Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield.
I think he's too little spindly for him.
Yeah, he is. But if he put on some weight and you shot him from low angles, dude.
Well, I'll see how well he does quips in The Amazing Spider-Man July
Yeah,
4th.
Yeah, if he gets the
next
quips
year.
down, he could do those Nathan Drake quips.
Yep.
Quippiness.
realnerds.tumblr.com is where you can find that stuff. Until next week, where we... Well, I don't know if I'm going to see
We'll see what
Twilight,
we'll do.
but we'll see what we'll do. Thanks.
There will be something. Maybe it will be a me and lots of girls talking about Twilight episode.
That'd be fun.
Maybe you should do another poll.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a poll, and we'll see what they say.
That's what she said.
Yeah!
Got you.
Got it. Bye.
Bye.
Banana.